knowing these wonderful other writers has just really given me great impetus to go on with my own writing. And those of you who write, I encourage you to check us out and possibly join us. So, first poem I want to read is actually to my mother. Her name was Joyce Sage. She died at age 89 last month in January, well, 2 months ago now. And this poem is for her. And she spent a couple of years of her life in a nursing home. And this is a little bit about what it was like for her at the end of her life. It's called Kick the Can Down the Road. Bring me that cold soup of autumn leaves. Burgundy and gold are best according to the bald man in room 201. But the tawny ones, he says, are especially tasty on these long Sundays without calls, ideas, or dreams. I enter my mom's room, 202, next door. She's sleeping as usual. Does she recall her October birthday or what she told me about individual raindrops on the car windshield merging into one? Does she recall Kick the Can with me? We called it that, though it was always just a stone kicked down the street. Am I right to ask, or will she sigh, look not at me but some other place I can't see? Maybe it's the simplest change in the thought loop, which adjusts the shadows just enough to form slightly different patterns, patterns that evoke memories not usually remembered, songs not usually sung or hummed, melodies you thought gone, return upon waking, upon walking and turning down a different corner. Mother, let's play Kick the Can when you get out of here. A wan smile on thin lips, but a vigorous nod. A single red bloom and the leaves curl up brown and bow. Not in homage, but merely the unconsciousness of inert life taking space. I tell the bald man who looks away. Once a lane, now moss and loam. Elsewhere the dust motes settle then rise. Others say it's the opposite, but we both know better, don't we? Between times of dullness, breathlessness, or those two aware moments of your body wearing out, do I encourage you to keep going or tell you it's okay to let go? I'll push your wheelchair outside and you can at least watch as I kick with all my might a stone down the road. This one is to my husband, Tom Pugsley, Why I Love the Moon. You aren't you, but a deflated, sadder man, still trying for humor in this funny, odd, dear and frightening place, this speckled heaven and hell. Only a small semblance of remembrance of the man who wined and dined and danced me, this man who the years immured me. Time played its dirty trick. The years fused us together, but then all feeling culled from familiarity into murky solitude, an eventual plummet into lonely, dark fear of non-being. This thought loop frays until it can no longer be threaded through the hole into the needling of our spoken words. Needing you now, is it too late, my mountain man, to linger beside our lethargic and aging selves, bodies soon to be shocked, forgotten by all? Why I love the moon's because it never cares about any of us. Stalwart in the sky and steady, so much steadier, more dependable than me, or even you, my moody man. Yet you were and are the moon, and me the fickle sun. Come closer, let me warm you until I burn, my dear mountain man, matchstick to my match, still to me, so I will hold and catch.